The sun gleamed over the small brick courthouse in Maple Creek, a quiet American town where everyone knew everyone. Inside, the benches were full, townsfolk curious about the old veteran accused of faking his service. "Your Honor, he's claiming to have saved a general during Desert Storm," sneered the young lawyer. At the defendant's table sat Frank Miller, a weathered man in his late 70s wearing a faded jacket with a single service pin. He simply whispered, "I told the truth." The crowd chuckled as the prosecutor held up the medals. "These are from a flea market," he mocked. "Anyone can buy these online." Frank looked down, his hands trembling. A young woman in the front row, Emily, a local history teacher, frowned at the disrespect. Frank's voice cracked. "You think bravery is something you can buy?" Outside during a recess, locals argued on the courthouse steps. "Maybe he's just confused," one man said. Emily spoke firmly. "I've seen his name in the old records at school. He's real." She pulled out a folder from her tote bag, filled with yellowed newspaper clippings and photographs of soldiers. Back inside, the judge sighed. "Mr. Miller, without proof, these claims are exaggerated." Frank stood slowly. "Your Honor, proof doesn't always fit on paper. Sometimes it's in scars, in nights you can't sleep, in the men you remember but can't name." The courtroom went quiet. His voice carried decades of pain and pride. Suddenly, the back doors opened. The sound of polished boots echoed down the aisle. A man in full uniform, General Harrison, tall and gray-haired, entered with authority. The murmurs stopped instantly. He spoke clearly. "I believe I owe that man a salute." The general stood before Frank, heels together, and raised his hand in salute. The crowd gasped. Even the judge froze. "Frank Miller saved my life in Kuwait," the general announced. He refused to take credit then, and he refuses to take pity now. Tears welled in Frank's eyes. The room erupted in applause. The judge stood and removed his glasses. "Mr. Miller, this town owes you an apology." Frank smiled softly. "Just teach them respect, Your Honor. That's all I ever wanted." Emily watched proudly, a new lesson forming in her heart, that heroes don't always wear medals, but they always carry honor. A week later, the town held a small ceremony at the Veterans Memorial Park. Children placed flowers, veterans stood tall, and the mayor handed Frank a plaque, "In honor of true service." The same people who once doubted him now clapped with pride. At school, Emily told her students the story of Frank Miller. "Courage," she said, "isn't proven by medals. It's proven by character." On the board behind her, she wrote in big letters, "Respect those who served, even when you don't understand their stories." As the sun set over Maple Creek, Frank sat on a park bench watching kids play by the flagpole. General Harrison approached quietly and sat beside him. "Still humble as ever?" the general asked. Frank chuckled. "Some honors, sir, you just live quietly with." The two men shared one last salute under the golden light.